What age is correct to start a conversation with children about race?
I think as early as possible, because it's not as if children aren't getting messaging anyway. It's not like when you're 4 or 5 years old and you turn on one of the cartoon channels that you don't see the complexion of the people in the commercials or who is the star and who is not. It's not like when you're 5 or 6, you don't see the nightly news and you see who's being paraded about as the criminals. Even though when we talk about actual crimes, there's a lot of crime being committed by all kinds of people, but the face of criminality becomes one thing. And so I know for me as a Black man in America and a Black family, it was very important to give my daughter from as early as possible, 4 or 5 years old, first an affirmation of who you are. And you're beautiful with your hair and your skin and your nose. Because once you have a sense of self, you can move through this world a little easier. But then it goes to, let's talk about slavery. Let's talk about how we got there, working for free, and talking about, how do you think America got so rich, right? It was hundreds of years of free labor. Let's talk about cotton was king. Who was picking that? And it sounds a little complicated, but not really. I can tell my daughter that in 1860, Black people were the most valuable commodity in America. The people, the humans, the wealth was in the humans. And we can go step by step and slowly. And obviously, it's tough because a lot of this is bound up by great violence and sad violence and bloodshed. So you have to be careful because they are children and they're still forming their ideas of themselves and the world. I think it's a great opportunity, one, to come together with this idea saying, we're all impacted by this. Look around right now as our cities are in flames and there's rage spilling out from street corner to street corner. We're all impacted by this. But in our latest episode of Into America, we talked to Tim Wise, a white guy born and raised in the South in Tennessee, and he's a renowned anti-racist advocate, activist, and teacher. And he talks about how it's incumbent upon white folks to have the conversations among themselves. He said that there are a lot of people who care, who want to help. They just don't feel they have the tools. And society has made it very difficult to talk about these conversations. He had one stat that said 75% of white parents said they never talk about race with their children. So you arrive at a moment like this, and then you look at the disparities in policing and healthcare and education, everything we said, and you're at a loss. You're kind of dumbfounded because where do you begin? We've never talked about this. So important.